Hello, everybody.
Welcome. Episode 13.
13.
Wow.
13,000, baby. Let's go.
And here we go.
We're going to be
again.
here forever.
Forever
Endless
sealing the
content.
deal.
Forever sealing the deal.
Sealing the
What's
deal.
our topic today?
Sealing the deal, baby.
Well, we kind of promised we would follow up on that.
Yeah, we did.
We set the expectation that we would follow up on the topic of setting expectations and sealing the deal.
So we're going to talk all about making sure when you land that deal, close that deal, you keep that deal. Now, the only time when you seal a deal you can't sometimes keep it is if they can't get financed in any way, shape, or form. Then you did everything you could in your power. It is what it is. But let's talk about the ones that cancel. Those are the ones that hurt, don't they?
The ones that cancel, yeah, you know, even I was thinking as we were parting ways last time about just not being clear about what to expect when the installers show up, and all of that can, you know, not
this
just
will knock the wind out of your sails real quick, because if you're not handing it off better, and you're not, you know, taking that paperwork and you know, writing it up properly before you give it to whoever you're giving it to next, you know, you'll create a clusterfuck. Excuse my language.
I mean, I think we've crossed that boundary a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. But still, yeah, you really will.
I mean, so let's start. You know, you made the sale, because I feel like a timeline where you could create the clusterfuck.
Well, yeah. Well, depending
You know.
on the company, they call it a post close. They call it a button up. In our step selling, in our program, we call it sealing the deal. And it's just really what you're doing is you're validating everything that you sold them. You're reassuring them of it. You're making them an advocate for you as well. If anybody was going talking to them, and you're reviewing that project that one last time. What happens is every sales rep sells that job, and they're so quick to get the heck out of the house. They're rolling. They're done. They're out. I always want to hang out.
Yeah.
I want to get my paperwork done. I want to have a cup of tea. Hopefully I'm not late to the next appointment. Maybe get some vegetables. I don't know.
Some vegetables.
Just saying.
You know, Lynch just gotta have his veggies.
So how do you do with do you have a bad cancel rate at all?
You know, I don't think we do have a terrible one. Honestly, our approach in this company that I'm at is very consultative and less pressure. So we generally have a lower cancellation rate.
It's that 3-day rescission, right?
Right.
Folks, you have 3 days to rescind.
Well,
Depending where you
rescission
live at.
clause.
Did you know it changes state to state now? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Welcome to the new world. I got some buddies out in the DC area. Oh my goodness. Out there, I think it's like 5 days, and then depending on the age group, it goes up to like 12 days. It's something crazy.
Yeah.
For a notice cancellation out there for this kind of work.
That's a terrible way to seal the deal, by the way, with the rescission clause.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I close it every day. Look, I close every single job. Hey, look, you got 3 days. It's 3 days. Sign here. You'll be fine. 3 days. You can cancel anytime. You could think about it for 3 days. Whew, good. It's good close. You don't like that?
I hate that. Are you serious?
Oh.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I'm like, that is the laziest, cheap, lack of professionalism close there is out there. If I hear that,
I'm glad you feel that way.
yeah,
Youngin.
no, if you're doing that close right now, you're not a closer. You're not in the closer's mindset. You're just trying to get a quick sale, pat yourself on the back, and you probably got like a 50% rescission rate.
Look, the fact of the matter is, where I grew up, if you did it one time and you got caught doing that, you got fired.
Yeah.
There wasn't, I mean, you were told specifically that is not allowed. If it was found out in any way, shape, or form, you're done. It's a big no-no in this industry. It is weak sauce. It really is. I got a buddy who always talks about weak sauce, and it's
not illegal. It's just more. It's not even unethical. It's just lazy. You know. I mean,
oh no, it's unethical in our business.
Oh, you think so?
100%.
Okay.
What you're
'Cause
doing,
you've been around a lot longer.
What you're doing is you're creating chaos for yourself and everybody else. You're
Well, that's
giving
true.
yourself a
Yeah,
false
yeah, it's
high.
unethical. Yeah, it makes
You know
sense.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's a false sense of security too. It's
I had
in every
people
way,
in my
and then,
last
and then
company.
you create
that-
more headache for everybody else. And
Yeah.
it's just look, either close it or don't close it.
I had people in my last company that talked about it very casually. And being new, I knew I hated that it wasn't going to work. I didn't want to go that route.
You know
they were
why
just
reps
talking
started doing
so
it?
casually.
Why did reps start doing it?
I don't know. What do you got?
Desperate. They're
Desperation.
desperate.
I tell you what. Yeah.
Last ditch effort. I always put it out there.
Especially-
It's my last close. I mean, I might as well try to get it. I'm like, really? Why? That's just weak. Well, it does this and that for me. Okay, well, how does that benefit you? So you're being selfish for yourself and not looking out for
Right.
the team when you do something like that.
When you think about too, the reason you do like a same day opportunity deal, whatever you want to call it, is to legitimately make your business more efficient, correct? So the process of creating all the paperwork, sending it in, having them cancel, you're actually okay. You got a pat on the back to yourself for maybe making a sale, but you're actually creating more chaos. To your point, within the organization, creates headaches
Within your own mind.
within your own mind.
Let's
it's-
take out all the
yeah.
other crap you're doing. I'm not even talking about the fallacies with just screwing everybody else, but you're
Yeah.
screwing your own head and your own mind up because you have a false sense of a sale that more than likely
Right.
is going to cancel. And when it does, it's going to give you that down of having a job cancel, and then you're going to go in your own head and justify all these reasons on why it was not you and this, that, and the other, and that's why they had to cancel and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Save yourself the trouble. Close it or don't close it. Be done. Be
That's
done.
good. It's especially lazy when the person says, I'm getting other estimates. Well, just sign up here. You have 3 more days to cancel. That's the laziest time to do it because there's people coming in and that customer's going to say, well, the other guy, I did sign up with them, but they told me I had 3 days to cancel. What are you going to say if you're the new guy? Is that who you want to work with? Someone who's willing to
They do it. all
willing
the
to lose
time.
you, just wants your sale. I mean, man, it's so easy to crush those people. So this is like not even where I think intended to go on Seal the Deal, but it's a big part of it. Now that we're talking about it, I realize that.
So yeah, it's a little bit, but we'll get off of that. Just don't do rescission close. That's what we call it. Rescission close, like the no in this biz.
I think a lot of times people
but-
get the sale and they assume that's the last step in the process of everything we're talking about. But to your point, sealing the deal is an actual step you need to be cognizant of and not just going out, leaving the door. We called it buttoning up the sale. That was the name of that step when I was being trained. So button up the sale. And the first thing under that was don't take the money and run.
Ours was called the post close.
Post close.
The post close. It was the post close.
The
It
post
was a
close.
close. So that's where the closer's mindset goes in. You're always closing in every aspect. At the end, I'm closing that
Cementing it
door.
into their mind.
cementing
This
it
is
in.
what I want to do. So it's not just like about their mind. It's about understanding their situation. Like, I've lost sales before. Then I'm like, I guarantee that lady left, talked to her kid. Kid wanted the money. Was pissed that mom was spending $50K.
BS. See, I don't agree with that because that's what every rep says. They always want to justify it that way. Dude, that's the same story. Every rep always says,
No,
their kid.
hold on.
Go ahead,
Hold on. I'm getting there. That it was I'm not justifying it. I'm saying if I had sealed the deal, it wouldn't have been a cancel, whatever the reason was.
Mhm.
I didn't seal the deal.
But that story you just said there, I've heard. I felt like a violin was playing.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying
the
to point out.
The kids are just trying to take that. I've heard that story so many times. Like, it's almost believable. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Bullshit. No, you know what you should have done is you should have reinforced that to her and should have been like, honey, yeah, I know I could have got it done for $1,000, but I decided I don't want it done for $2,000 because the only thing they're talking about with their kids is price. That's it.
Yep.
You better give them ammunition to fire back at their kids when their kids tell them, well, you can't get it done for this, and this. She's like, yeah, I know, but I'm doing this, and this is why.
Right.
And if they don't remember, you leave it written down for them. I've leaving bullet points. Hey, when your kids talk to you, they're going to ask you about this. They may say something about price. If this is what you really want, I'd be happy to leave you some ammunition.
Yep.
Hey, my mom would call me, and I'm going to ask her all kinds of questions too. And I just thumb straight up. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm a mama's boy. You're damn right I'm going to find out what my mama bought and why.
Yeah.
And if she really liked it and wanted it, I'm like, all right, mom, good. But I just care, It's look at it like this: you're just looking out for your mom or your dad, right? That's all you're doing.
Correct.
So when you look at it from that perspective, thinking about from that perspective, and then now you can really be in not the customer's shoes, but the customer's kids' shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's this rep coming in, not stealing their inheritance and that, but maybe taking advantage of their mom or dad. But if you reinforce their mom or dad or both of them with all the information they need and they feel very confident and clear in the decision they made and they're comfortable with it, then you're fine. If you're sleazy, you got a sleazy company, then yeah, they're going to cancel.
Right. So don't hear me wrong. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Is that attitude is and it's error. It's errant attitude that I had about that because at that point you're like you have to either own it that I messed up and didn't close the deal and seal the deal because I closed the deal but I didn't close the deal.
Dude, I've been doing this business for 22 years. It was like just recently I started not thinking that way. What you just said there is the way I used to think about it all the time.
Well, I hear the story all the time. I hear it all the time. That I mean, I'm guessing
sales reps, yes,
from a ton of sales reps. Like,
I've never heard from the customer.
Right?
I hear from the sales reps.
Yep.
Never from the customer. And I don't know too many people that want to take their parents' money. Do you know anybody?
I personally could care less.
I mean,
I'm sure there are people. I don't know anyone.
I don't know anybody either.
Right.
I don't know anybody, and I know some rotten people too.
I do know parents, kids that care about their parents. I know my future mother-in-law, for instance. She was getting a roof estimate, and all it took was her calling us and saying, "Yeah, the roofing guy came out, and the roof was going to be 30 grand." I mean, I could have just thrown my shit on the floor and be like, "What the are you talking about? What 30 grand?" Like that's where my heart went to immediately, whether it's justified or not. I don't know the value that she was proposed. I don't even know if a whole roof. You're replacing everything or just the shingles or what's going on here. I had no idea.
Exactly.
But that's where, that helps me as a kid, so to speak, of it's not even my mom, but I care.
That's a great example. So what happened?
So she ended up finding a quality contractor for half the price. So ended up being that I was right because I've heard of roofs not costing that much. Sorry if there's roofing guys out there who are like, we cost that much, is what it is. But yeah, she ended up finding a different guy and paying like 15, 20 guy. I know.
Should I stay with it? Then I'm kidding.
But that puts me in the mindset of what happens after the sale. You go home and you just look at your numbers and you think, oh yeah, there's my numbers. That's locked in. Nothing's locked in.
What do you mean
until it's locked in? Sales guys, you track your numbers. You want to know your progress. I'm on my way to my goals. Where am I at? Things like that. You're talking with your manager. Hey, are we on our way to meeting goals, etc.? And that confidence that something's on the plate is not on the plate until the rescission. But even then, let's say a homeowners association gets back to him and says, hey, this doesn't fit. We can't do these windows. I just talked to a guy today and he was telling me about an installation where they got the product ordered. The windows were, measured, ordered, everything. We got to the point where they were there to install, had the sashes removed on these windows. And the city came by and said, you can't put these windows in here. This is a historical district. You can't put those windows here. They had to put the sashes back in, put stops up to hold the sashes and leave. And that job was done. Could have easily been resolved in the appointment, So that's
I don't know where he's going with all this, but
you asked, what do I mean by that?
Oh, I don't know where you went so rabbit hole.
I'm sharing a story, man. I'm sharing a story. It's not about the parents in that situation. That's another place where the person didn't seal the deal.
Oh yeah, you didn't talk about it up front.
I mean, if you're asking questions like, hey, any restrictions we have to follow here? That's a pretty common question, right?
Should have did that like the beginning.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So he didn't seal the deal, did he? Because he lost the sale. And I'm guessing he had to pay it out of his own pocket back to the company. That's what I'm saying. Man, we need some more coffee up in here. What is going on?
So what's another way that you seal the deal? What do you do to seal the deal? What do you do to make sure that you do a button up, past company, this company? What are some of the tricks in the trade for you?
So couple things on the, who are they going to go talk to thing. I think an easy question is, or if you really feel like that could be an objection, is asking the question, hey, what are your friends and family going to think about this project? They gonna be excited for you?
Let me ask this. Let's just say on an average, let's do it for any deal. Let's just not say in that scenario, but just to say on a regular one,
regular
just
deal?
deal, because you never know. You never know on any of those. So on every deal, what would you do? Like, here are the things on every single job that I always do.
Yeah. So one is I have to slow down, and I constantly thinking, don't take the money run. That I literally am saying that to myself as I sit there, because I want to make sure I'm sitting there long enough to make.
Do you have a habit of moving quick?
Well, I think it's a natural instinct, whether you got other appointments or to just treat like, okay, thanks, I got the sale. And
gotta go.
Yeah, that's a heart issue. But so that's where just reminding myself, no, they're they're making an investment here. I don't care if it's $1,000 or $20,000. It doesn't matter. Like they just spent time with me and want what I have. And I just try to tap into that humanity of, okay, it's not about the sale to me as much as it's about them getting the solution to their problem. So in that regard, okay, if you're not comfortable with money or talking about money, I think, especially being new to the industry, I was like, oh my gosh, they just gave me a $7,000 check. You know, like it's like when you're brand new to the industry, like any kind of money, you're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, you know, or whatever it is.
So the first time you got a cash deal, was that crazy?
Oh yeah, you're just like, in that case, I felt like a drug lord. I'm like, what do I do with this cash? Do I go to the laundromat? Or, you know? But I hate carrying cash, but. No, so I think just slowing down, focusing on continuing to ask them about, their life or like, how are you feeling about this? You excited? I got an email today from a guy who made a sale and he emails me. He's like, just wanted to let you know that I am committed and so excited for this. And I'm like, yeah, man, that is so cool. Like, I love that.
I like that. So I really like the idea of slowing down. It wasn't in my top 3, but it's definitely my number 1, period. It wasn't even in my top 3, but it's number 1 for me because I go way too fast all the time. Yeah, slowing down is huge.
Yep.
Huge.
I think another one for me is reiterating the next steps. I always do that no matter what. Reiterate. All right, hey, as you know, just a reminder, we're going to do a final measurement. That's what I'm going to get back to you on. I still have that on my plate to do.
The best companies have it pre-printed out for the consumer with all the information right there, still in a paper format for them with everything there. I find too many companies aren't doing it now, and it makes so much difference.
Yeah.
Having
all the paperwork ready for them.
You have that. Yes, having the
here's your installation. Yeah. Did you get it? Slow down. Don't just email it or say I'll email it to you later. They just bought from you. I slow down and I say, hey, did you get that? Can you check your email quick?
Yes.
Another thing I try to do all the time, but if I'm honest, it's probably like 3/4 of the time is saying, the reviews or referrals, that kind of thing. Hey, did you have a good time today? Would you mind giving me a review? That's something that is important to our company, that kind of stuff. But again, that's maybe even 50-50, I would say, but I think it helps to reaffirm.
Sure. I'm all about it.
Yeah. So those are a couple things I do.
Okay.
How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
So slow down is a good one. I'm going to add that. But the first thing I'm always going to do is I'm going to review the entire project with them, wherever that project is. So I'm going to paint the picture one last time. Whatever it is, I'm going to paint the picture, get the oohs and ahs, the excitement for it. I'm also going to find out why they decided to purchase.
Oh yeah, I like that you do that.
Specific question: yep. Why did you decide to buy? And I'm going to ask. I'm going to find out. And I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to leave that with them too.
Oh,
yes.
Dang. Yeah, that's good.
That tells them that that's why they. I also make sure I leave them with pictures. Pictures are huge. If I can get a picture of their existing, like a really close up that's bad, that's in the email. Right there, boom, because it's just an instant reminder. Oh crap! Like especially an up close nasty one. Oh crap! This is why I'm getting it done.
Right.
You'd be surprised what subliminal little things will do. All right, and then maybe an after picture of what the finish is, even if it's not there, just showing the difference, right? And then they can, again, they can put themselves back in that place on why they made that decision to do whatever they did it. Again, does it really make a difference? I don't know. They're all little touches, but when you have a low ass cancellation rate, baby. They all make sense, right? I don't know what's ever going to work, so I'm going to try to do everything I can. In a situation scenario where I know they're going to talk to somebody else, then I'm going to make sure I make them a huge advocate. I may leave them with parts and pieces, this, that, or the other. I'm always setting up if I have a partial. If I have more work due in the house, I'm letting them know. Oh, hey, when you're ready, we're doing this. Mm-hmm. I'm putting it in their ear, right? I'm letting them know.
Yep.
And then if they bite later on, then I have it, and they're putting it in the ticker file, always.
Right.
I'm letting them know I'm going to be for them, that they have all my contact information. Yep. Sometimes I'll have them plugged in the phone while I'm there, intentionally, as well.
Checking
the email is huge. I think that's a really big part of it as well, making sure they know. That just shows, do you know what that does? It's more than just that. That shows that you care.
Right.
Hey, while I'm here, I'd like you to check to make sure you've received it. And then you can see how important. I've had some that no problem, whatever. I'm not really worried about it, but the other ones that means they don't care. They're good. They trust you completely. Other ones, thank you really much. Let me check real quick. They'll go to their phone, or someone will walk up. Again, depending on the age group that you're soliciting to, know who you're in front of.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're going to check it, especially people that aren't don't have their emails set up on their phones. They have a separate computer, and that's the only way they check their email.
Yeah.
They have an AOL or a CompuServe account.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the older accounts.
They got their passwords on a bunch of post-it notes on the inside of the dress. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with that?
That's typically what I see when those people have to go to their computer to do all that. They open the dresser, pull out the post-it note. Hey, if you do it, whatever. I'm not knocking you.
Thank you. All right.
I
You're
like
not supposed to have the same password for everything. Oh, whoops.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4.
851-158.
I like the especially just asking like why, that's something that's planted in the seed and they're just saying again, they're selling themselves again. And it's so simple. You had written down something we were talking the other day. What did it say? Something like closers do what others don't. Winners, successful people do what others don't or cannot do. And that's one of those questions that I think it feels awkward. Probably the first time you ever ask that, if you're a rep listening to this, and the first time you ever ask, you're going to probably feel awkward. Like, so why did you move forward with me today? Like it feels awkward, but I think that's one of those things a closer has is confidence you talked about to just say, hey, why'd you move forward today?
I have to know.
What was it about this?
I have to know. I want to know why.
And if you're any sort of business savvy at all, outside of sales, you get into just business world, they have to know what consumers are doing and why. So that should translate into the sales game as well. I like that a lot. I need to do that more. If I'm being honest.
It's huge. Also, what if they say, well, I know I have 3 days to cancel. I'm on the flip side. If they say something, think of this. It also could bring out, well, I am still going to talk or do this. It could bring something else out that might just open your eyes to give you another opportunity to be an advocate, make sure that you lock that down or do something else for it. It's no different than dealing with a one-legger. You got just the spouse there or the significant other or the sister, whoever else is there, right?
Right.
The fact of the matter is you should not change your presentation at all.
Right.
Maybe even, like I said, be even more, of an advocate towards that person so they can be an advocate for you. But the same thing goes when you finish, the sale's not over, the closing's not done. Just because you got the signature doesn't mean it's done. Yes, they can cancel that project. Yes, they can start thinking about it, waking up going, oh shit, what did I do? Have you ever done that before? Have you ever bought something and said, oh shit, what'd I do the next day and returned it?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, buyer's remorse.
You have that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
But I've done it.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, especially when you got big ticket pricing, like that's an easy thing to wake up and do and say, listen, I was comfortable yesterday, but did they sell me? I mean, even that, like you built the trust, you thought you built the trust, and something just whispers, did they sell you? Oh man.
I get it. I get it. That's why you better seal that deal at the end, baby. You better make sure that you do everything. Do not assume that they are going to just be happy, honky-dory, go afterwards, because they're going to talk about it. Think about yourself when you buy. Do you talk about things afterwards? I do it all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Talk shit all the time.
You know what? This kind of makes me, what's coming to me right now is the idea that, on the closer's mindset thing, a closer's always selling. You're not done selling just because you made the sale and then you go home and you're done. You're always selling, even on the final measurement. You know how many windows or doors or storm doors or other add-ons I've added at a final measurement?
A
lot. Probably 1 out of 10 jobs, if I had to just guess. You're adding stuff, adding to the project.
I had a buddy that did $1 million in business last year off of repeat business. So think about it. If you're in this biz, first off, doing $1 million is kind of a norm just to even talked about in this biz in a year's time.
Right.
If you can't do $1 million, you're not even anywhere in it. You should be at 1.5 to 2 in this biz at this point. But the fact of the matter is, now I say that, but there may be lower end. But even then, if you're selling lower, you should be bigger tickets.
Right.
With that, it's just the approach. Any one of those partials, any one of those phases, this guy's knocking it out. And I've known him for many, many years, and he is knocking. This approach is so pretty. Doesn't leave anything on it. So if there's some meat on the table, he's coming back to get it later. He's coming back at that measure or at the install.
Yep.
Or 3 months or 6 months later, has that little ticker file in the back. Heck, I still got my milk crates.
Yeah, I've got a cardboard box in my car. 100%. I'm not letting go of those documents. I'm looking at them all the time, just paging through, just to remind myself of who my customers are.
Well, you never know when you're going to be in the area and you can stop by and say hi.
Right.
And that's always a real good thing there. So anything else you got on sealing the deal? Any other tidbits you want to leave this audience today?
Yeah, I mean, to the point of you're always, always selling. We're just talking about at the install, things like that. I can't tell you how many guys you hear because they didn't do a good job sealing the deal. They made the sale, they got through the rescission period. I don't even think about the rescission period. That doesn't exist to me, but you get what I'm saying. So they get everything's installed, but because they didn't fully talk about what needed, whether they, didn't talk about what needed to be done and more needed to be done, or too much got done, or whatever the case is, if the installation doesn't match the customer's expectations.
They didn't set the next steps of the expectations.
Right.
So just like we talked about last episode, setting expectations.
Right.
Part of sealing that deal is setting the next steps. How the measure is going to go. The
customer's experience, your experience might be appointment and maybe final measure and a couple follow-up calls. Their experience is the shopping around through the installation, through the use of it. That's their experience. And if any of that becomes bad and tainted, you lost a customer.
I agree.
So that to me is where I've heard too many stories where people are, just whether they're lazy in their jobs or not communicating or don't know enough, then know more, learn more, ask your installers, hey, how does this work?
How do you think the customer feels?
Frustrated, pissed, angry, dude. That will ruin a good.
Why do you think home improvements, the business we're in, right? It's
still the top
complaints, right?
Yeah.
Because of that happens.
Yeah.
And big companies and small companies to do it, and contractors are the worst. But I love my brother-in-law to death, and I hope he listens to the episodes, but he comes and goes when he pleases.
Yeah.
He owns his own business. That would suck if but he does great work, but then you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of homeowners deal with.
Yeah.
And that's why some people flock to these other companies. And if you have a good company that can do that, I mean, take advantage of it. My goodness.
That's what I'm saying. So when you're sealing a deal, yeah, we're talking about the one moment you got the sale and you're sealing all that up and buttoning up the sale. But by being a master of your craft, communicating accurately what's coming up, and if you hit a hiccup, my biggest thing what I tell folks is, hey, okay, construction, nothing's perfect, but give me a chance to make things right.
And why is all this so important? Why do all this?
Because for me, it's about customer service and like giving people what they.
It is the right thing to do. Yeah, I mean that's just a hidden thing,
right?
But why else? Where's the skin in the game?
Oh yeah, so I was just getting there, because if you mess that up, not only are you messing up possible phase twos, or they buy a new house and they need the same thing done, and they would have called you, so there's $1,000 out of your pocket on the average $10,000 job, let's just say, but they maybe were going to give you 3 referrals.
Ooh.
Or the neighbors, or review, or whatever it might be. Let's just say they were going to give you 3 referrals. They had 3 neighbors and friends in mind. That's 30 grand. That's 3 G's in your pocket just for doing the right thing, right?
I was at a house today, and he's like, "Yeah, the guy up here wants it done. The guy over there wants it done. The lady over here wants it done."
Yep.
So
my guy's neighbor was calling him during our appointment to find out how much everything cost, and the guy I was talking to is like, he's not going to like the price. So, it is what it is. And I'll put out those feelers later, but still, like, yeah, you don't want to mess that up.
I have some very near and dear friends that do a majority of their business as referral business. They've gotten so good at it. They take only a certain amount of company leads, and then they produce such an enormous amount of referral business out of it. And the reason why is they've gotten this down to a craft. Because referrals are the easiest sell, regardless of whether they come from the company or not. But your old school guys, they only ever got their own leads. All right, so the really, really good old cats doing this, they knew this. The best and easiest way is referrals. Yes, you can go knock on doors, this and that, but the simplest, easiest way is a referral, because typically a referral, they've talked about something. And lots of times they've already talked about the product or the price or this, that, or the other. So you already have an edge. You already have some type of icebreaker, something there to get you in the door there. And then referrals add on to referrals. And the best way to get those and the easiest way is to make sure you do everything sealing the deal, finalizing that, leaving that with them. And then, when you have that install done, day of install is the best time to go in there, and you can really crack down, and that'll really lead us into another episode later on that we can talk to and how to really enhance referrals. That's a
great topic.
That's a great topic that I think people miss out on.
Yeah.
Because again, we're always going to the next deal.
Yeah.
And I'm very much a person who raises my hand and say I'm guilty of it. That sometimes I'll forget about the referrals because I'm thinking about the next deal. I'm thinking about the next thing, and it happens in sealing the deal and button it up. We're always on the move. So it's really easy. I've caught myself, the slow down period is so important, but also making sure that you make a list. And that's something that will really help reps out there is make yourself a list. Give yourself a cheat sheet. Easiest way is give yourself a cheat sheet. I think we'll make one up and throw it up on the website too, is making yourself a cheat sheet to where it gives you an easy way to seal the deal. Just a couple things. We'll put on there, slow down, right?
Yeah.
We're going to put on there, review the project, ask them why they bought.
What I love about review the project is because I always review the project before going into my price presentation and they're understanding like, yeah, that's all the value. That's why you do it before you lay down a price, you go through the project. I love that in the post deal close, whatever you call it,
Still on the deal, baby.
Because you're just reiterating again everything they're hearing it for the third time. You talked about it during the walk around. Now you're talking about before a price, and here's a third time cementing it in their mind. That's good. But no, I, to your point, yes, let's put something online, quick things to seal the deal. Here's another small tidbit. And I need to do more of this, to be honest, but I love when I hear guys doing this, is just write down everything you can that you remember about the person, their dog's name, their kids' names, whatever, after the appointment. It takes 2 seconds. And it's not about pneumatic devices like you watch The Office and he's like, what's that guy's name? Oh, Bangor, oh, Bob. Yeah, that's it. It's not about that. It's about when you show up to the install and you remember they like cheese and you stop by the store and you get them a freaking brick of cheese and you say, hey, thought of you.
Stop. Dude, you gotta stop right now. You gotta stop. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is clutch. Ooh, it's so good. Some of the best information I've heard. Telling you right now, that right there will seal the freaking deal. Remembering their pets' names, there's kids' names, things like that. And then when you do a follow-up, and this is where I did not talk about, but doing a follow-up email, because everybody emails now, right?
Right.
If they don't email, you have to figure a different way. You're going to get a few. But let's just say 95% have email now, right? Would you safe to say 95? They got 5% that don't?
Yeah.
95% send that email the next day. Say something about their pet. If you have a pet too, send a picture of your pet.
Yeah.
Because they always appreciate stuff like that, especially if we talked about it. But it's huge. I'd even go to the part of if you have something memorable about the customer that you send them something. I've sent plenty of $15, $20 Amazon gifts to clients just because I thought it was something cool. And it came from me, and it was personal. It wasn't about, even when it isn't about sealing the deal for me, really. It's just something I thought was cool, and I was thinking of them, and I wanted to return and do something nice for them. And it was cheap and easy, and they appreciated it. And heck, I'm still friends with a lot of customers today because of it.
Yeah.
So that's so.
You want to become their guy. That's ultimately sealing the deal when it's beyond just the project. When you're their blank guy, their roofing guy, you're their contractor, period. Even for other projects, they call you and say, hey, who should I use for this or that? When you're that level of relationship with them, and you're not going to get there with everyone, because some people just corner you into the business mode and kind of hold you at arm's length. But if you do what you can, and that's what I want to do. I want to be someone's guy.
Cool. Well, that's how you get there, right?
Yeah.
That's how you get there.
That's right.
Cementing it, sealing the deal.
Yeah.
Landing it and keeping it, not losing it. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening today. We appreciate your time. And
join us
until
on
next
closersmindset.com for all the goodies.
For all the goodies. Coming soon to an area near you. Be a better closer.
To a web URL. Computer near you.
It's coming. We're better at sales than we are building websites.
That's right.
But it's up and running. It'll be going. Good luck going through it now. But just give us a couple of days. We'll be right to rock and roll.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
See you.